get that.
No, it's a lot relaxed. Hey guys, it's Viv
and G.
Welcome to our channel. So we just finished watching episode 6 of The Bachelorette with Becca. So this week on The Bachelorette, they took us to Virginia. Virginia is for lovers.
Yes, which I didn't know that was a saying, but...
Me either, but hey.
So we cut to Becca and Chris Harrison having a little heart-to-heart.
Mid-season interview with Becca, which was kind of cool to see like where she's at mentally with all the guys and everything. And she's really excited.
She started looking at wedding magazines, she said.
Yeah, and she's talking about babies and how they're cuter, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you are really excited. So that was pretty awesome to hear. I think she does have an amazing group of guys right now.
She does, for sure.
Like, I have a bunch of favorites, and it's like half of the group now.
Yeah, I know. They're all our favorites now.
So after this little interview, we see that Jason gets the first one-on-one, and all the guys are huddled in their hotel room per usual.
Yep, and some drama, of course, starts. And this time it's between Chris and Lincoln. And I think the funniest part about this little bickering fight was they were sitting right next to each other, arm to arm, like fighting, not even like
cussing
looking
each other out.
Not even looking at each other, just like angrily, like over and over. And I was like, oh my God, like one of you get up and get away from each other. And I guess I didn't really understand the whole story, so maybe there was something that we didn't hear, but I guess there was some fat shaming that Lincoln was doing to Chris. So we didn't hear this before, but apparently Chris has lost 100 pounds and now he's in really good shape. So I think that was kind of a trigger for him. And I don't know, we just keep seeing this really bad side of Chris, and Lincoln's really feeding into it and, you know, making things a lot worse.
I think Chris right now is just so
out of his element. I don't think he knows how to handle this type of environment, this show.
No, absolutely not.
He doesn't know how to let things go, and like we said, Lincoln is, you know, he is noticing that, and he's making things worse. He really is.
Lincoln is your like subtle type of bully, instigator type of guy.
So for our first one-on-one is with Jason. So they did a lot on this one-on-one. They went to St. John's Church. They went to the Edgar Allan Poe Museum. They went to this donut shack. They went to this unhappy hour, which was this weird gothic thing. But you know what? Jason was a good sport and he did everything.
He was a really good sport.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, and they were really vibing. But the highlight of this one-on-one was Becca surprised him with 3 of his friends at this bar. And it was so adorable. He got so excited. Like, oh, the look on his face.
No, it was truly like such a thoughtful surprise on Becca's side.
And just the way they were speaking about him, it was so amazing. And Becca got to really see who he is as a friend and who he is back home. The one thing that really stood out to me that one of his friends said is that Jason is as good as he's advertised. So kind of what you see is what you get with him.
That was a super sweet comment from his friend.
That made me so happy. Like, just to see that what we're seeing is the
real
real him.
Right.
Also, Becca said her relationship with Jason has always been moving forward. It never has moved back.
Yeah.
Which I think was really good and really reassuring to their relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jason and Becca's date leads to the dinner part of the date where they sit down and really connect. Jason opened up about his grandmother having Alzheimer's and how you shouldn't ever take things for granted. And that led to Becca really opening up. This is the most she's opened up about her father passing away when she was 19 years old. So yeah, so they definitely had a more serious type of conversation tonight, but they both really connected, you know, kind of seeing what hardships they've gone through with life. Like, those are some really hard things to go through. But yeah, I'm getting really excited for them because they're really connecting.
Yeah, and they're really falling for each other. And obviously, at the end of this one-on-one, he did get the rose.
Jason is definitely like upping his game in my mind. Like, he's becoming one of my favorites. I really like him.
He's definitely opening up more, and we're going to see more.
Yes, I'm getting very excited about him. So the second date of this episode was your group date. We had 7 guys who had a Becca election 2018. Yeah, so the 7 of them had this big debate in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
And the guys were, you know, getting questions, and Colton had really cute things to say, and most of the guys did, up until
we get to Chris and Lincoln. So now they're going at it, and then that kind of subsides. Then Blake gets asked another question, and then boom, Chris tries to take over the question. Chris Harrison's saying, nope, okay, this is not how a debate works, like, and they were just going at it.
Yeah.
And I felt really bad because Blake kind of got in the middle of Lincoln and Chris for a second, trying to diffuse the situation, which I thought was really cute of him, but didn't really work.
Chris started getting inappropriate, like swearing and cussing, and there's kids in the audience.
Yeah.
Like, people were like, wait, what is happening right now? They thought it was embarrassing. I truly was so embarrassed for Becca.
Yeah.
It went downhill.
Yeah, definitely not one of the best dates. And you could tell no one was feeling good after that.
No. So after that terrible start to the group date, we end up with your cocktail night part of the date. So Lincoln was the first guy to speak to Becca, and he just got straight to the point and was like, I don't like Chris. He has major anger problems. I don't feel safe around him. And just went on and on and on, and then was quickly interrupted with Chris coming into the room and taking over, and Lincoln walked out. And
Right, which was really awkward. I just feel like at this point, Becca like didn't even want him there. During their conversation though, it got really heated. Like Becca was yelling at him. They were having a legit fight at this point. And it's weird because I almost feel like Becca must have some feelings for this guy at this point because she was so heated. She was like, why are you doing this? Like, why is this happening? She told him, like, he had one of the first one-on-ones for a reason. So obviously she was, you know, crushing on him, and things just went south really fast.
it was so bad to the point where Becca kind of mentioned that she had heard that even Connor was afraid of even rooming with Chris, and Chris was like, what the heck? Like, who's saying all of this? Like, I'm close to all these guys. Maybe not Lincoln, but I'm close to all these guys. And then pretty much fast forward, Garrett interrupts that date, so Chris leaves. Obviously Garrett wants to kind of like lift up the spirits because I think he can tell, and quickly Becca was like, you know what, I need a minute. And Garrett got wicked pissed at Chris and was like, what the heck, dude? You just killed the entire night for the rest of us.
And Chris obviously is fighting back now with Garrett, and they bring up the whole Connor situation. So now Connor's like to Lincoln, why are you saying my name? I never said I didn't want a room with Chris. So now we're seeing this awful side of Lincoln where he's being manipulative and he's making up rumors. Like, we don't really know what's going on. So obviously there's a lot of drama. The guys are upset that Becca's upset.
So the date proceeds with Becca coming back, grabbing Garrett as she said she would. They're just super cute. Garrett is the sweetest guy ever.
Yeah.
He was like, I wrote a little closing statement for you for the debate. And it was just the sweetest, most precious thing. I love Garrett so much. And she had a little time with Colton. It was like a little like sexy time in the dark in one corner of the building. She's super into him.
Oh yeah.
And then fast forward to Will's confessing that he fell in love with her. And then that was pretty much it. They didn't show everyone's one-on-ones, and she gave her group date rose to Colton. She is like feeling him.
Yeah, we were a little surprised about that. We thought it was gonna go to Will's, but...
Right. I know, Garrett and Will's face was like...
So now we go into our second one-on-one, and this time it's with Leo.
Oh my gosh, I've been dying to get to know Leo.
I know! He just seems so wise. Like, every time he speaks, we're just like, yes.
And so like super low-key funny. I feel like he has like just the smirkiest like little comments. I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, he seems like a really good guy. And he still does after this one-on-one. Like, we really got to know him.
So the date with Leo starts with them getting on a little plane, flying over the Chesapeake Bay. Super scenic, super beautiful, kind of awkward. They're not even like talking. Becca's super in her own world, super distracted from the drama from the night before. Led into when they landed, they had lunch, and she apologizes and just tells him straight up like, yo, I'm super like flustered and frustrated with the night before. So
Yeah, I mean, she just said, she was like, I'm not my best self right now. But it gave them an opportunity to kind of really open up to each other.
Leo was super, like, just supportive and, like, was just there to hear whatever she needed to say and just, like, get it off her mind. So that was super nice to see.
And they had a really serious conversation about engagement at the end of this. She said, you know, I'm not 100% expecting an engagement. I'm just expecting to find my person out of this. And he said basically the same thing. Like, engagement is really important to him, and he's not ruling that out by any means. But they both were just like, we want to find our person.
Yeah. So after this little lunch, they went shucking for oysters. I don't even know if I'm using the right word, but they went to go look for oysters.
Yes, they did.
It looked painfully cold. I felt like Becca was freezing, but Leo was a super good sport about it, getting his shirt all wet. Which led them to their dinner part of the day, which was super nice. Leo opens up to Becca, and I feel like she finally was like, wow, okay, even though we started slow, I really like you. Like, I'm looking forward to getting to know you more. Like, he's funny. He's just like a genuine guy, I feel like. I feel like what you said earlier, he's super wise.
And then we cut to a concert where there's a bunch of people around just watching them awkwardly dance and, you know, the normal
Bachelorette date.
Yep.
But it was super sweet. I like Leo. Looking forward to getting to know him better.
Yes. So now Chris obviously can't let anything go. He's feeling really bad about their relationship, and I'm assuming he talked to some producers and was like, I need to go see her at her hotel. So we see him walk to her hotel, and when he got to her door, she was very surprised. It did not seem like she wanted him there at all. She actually said multiple times, like, what are you doing here? Like so awkwardly. They sat down, they talked. Long story short, I don't even think he said anything that would have won me over. He almost was telling Becca, like, how to feel, and I didn't appreciate that, and I'm sure she didn't. So he ended up getting sent home and didn't save himself with that discussion, and she wanted to walk him out, and he was like, no, don't even bother. And she was like, no, I'm gonna respect you and walk you out. They had a quick hug, and that was it. So,
see you later, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
So the following night, we proceed to the cocktail hour where all the guys get ready, and Chris comes in and was like, guys, unfortunately, there will be no cocktail hour. And they went straight to the rose ceremony. The guys started freaking out.
Yeah.
I felt bad for some of them who just really
wanted that one last hope.
With Becca. So she comes in, she explains herself, and she sends 2 guys home this episode. She sent
Lincoln, who at this point we're really not upset about at all.
No, the one that I was kind of bumming and looking forward to, like, seeing more and getting to know was Connor.
Yes. I really wish we could see him in his glasses more. He was so adorable.
He was super cute.
Yeah, but he was only 25, so a little young for Becca anyways.
That's true. And that is a wrap for tonight's episode. 3 guys went home. That leaves us with 6 guys. So we're excited. The preview for next week, we're going somewhere much warmer and exciting, the Bahamas. So please stay tuned. We will be here next week.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can see every time that we upload a new video. And also make sure you guys check out the Bachelor Insiders page, and you can see all of our fellow recappers all featured on their videos.
Yes. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.